On this week's Digging for Old, we wanted to try and find some items related to the heat that we're all experiencing across the region. And as this segment often goes, one thing led to another and another and another, and then we stumbled on some gee whiz facts from the past that we had to bring all of it to you. We started by searching the Oregon Historical Society's museum collection for the word cooling, which I'm sure many of you are doing right now. We only found 7 results, but the second one caught our eye. It described as bag, water. What? Here's a closer look. It's a canvas water bag with a rubberized inside to hold the water. A metal binding closes at the top, and you can see the sprout plugged with a cork there on the left. The Historical Society dates the bag back to 1920 and 1935. As you can see, it was made by the Hirsch Weis manufacturing company in Portland, created by Max and Leopold Hirsch and their partner, Harry Weis. Some of you may recognize the leaping stag above the apple. See it there in the middle? Yep, the company specialized in clothing and supplies for outdoor workers, and a water bag makes sense for that. But in 1931, the company began making ski clothing and named the brand White Stag. Where does the name come from? Well, it's simply the English translation of the German names of the owners. Weiss is German for white. You say it by making the W sound like a V, so Weiss. And Hirsch is German for stag. In the 1950s, which is when this picture was taken, Hirsch Weis Manufacturing was the country's largest retailer of ski clothing. And when the company went public in 1956, it was renamed White Stag Sportswear. How about that? So how does it connect to this iconic White Stag in Portland? Well, before the stag, the sign was built in 1940 to promote an Oregon sugar company. By 1957, as sales soared, White Stag put its own brand there with the deer. And it was Harold Hirsch's wife, Elizabeth, who suggested the red nose be added around Christmas time. The Nadeau family, think Nadeau Parkway, well, they bought the building where the sign stands in the early 70s, and the city designated the sign as a historic landmark in the late 70s. In the late 90s, the wording was changed to a slogan linking it to a Nadeau business brand, Made in Oregon. But since the city of Portland took possession of the sign in 2010, it is simply read Portland, Oregon, Old Town, with the iconic White Stag welcoming people near and far to our city. By the way, the White Stag brand was sold in the mid-1960s, went through a few changes in the 80s, and was eventually sold to Walmart in 2003 for about $29 million. They turned that brand into a line of women's apparel and jewelry. And now you know.